All right, guys. Yeah, come on in, guys. It's hotter. He doesn't have a mic. There you go.
I have a mic for just the camera.
Good morning, and thanks for coming out today. Dr. Bucshon said this would only take 15 minutes or so, and I said, oh my gosh, I have 10 minutes to prepare the remarks, so he must be brief. But thanks for coming out on a really hot day to officially kick off the re-election campaign of our good friend, Congressman Larry Bucshon. We sent Dr. Bucshon to Congress because we needed some change in Washington. He's represented our district and the constituents of Southwest Indiana with distinction. It's because of his hard work as a conferee on the Transportation Committee that we saved billions of dollars for the state of Indiana and for future transportation projects. It doesn't matter if he's working on health care reform or transportation issues. Dr. Bucshon is a great friend of Southwest Indiana and a great friend of the city of Evansville. He's a longtime personal friend, and it's my pleasure to introduce our Congressman, Dr. Larry Bucshon, seeking re-election.
Thank you, Mayor. Well, thank you, Mayor. I really appreciate you coming out today and introducing me. And it's great to be here on the river. Evansville is such a beautiful place to be, especially if it was a little cooler, but especially on a nice sunny day like this. But 2 years ago, I gave up my medical practice to run for office, and I did that because I felt like the country was just not headed in the right direction. I still feel that today, and that's why I'm running for re-election. Last time I campaigned on a number of things, and I've been true to my word. The House of Representatives, under the control of the Republicans, has been able to slow the Obama administration's agenda, which is anti-business and honestly is not good for the American people. I've voted over 200 times to control federal spending. One of the biggest issues we have is Washington continues to spend money we don't have. I also, as the mayor just said, just recently worked on a long-term highway bill, which would be an economic boom for the next 2 years for the state of Indiana. And also, there were some senators out there from neighboring states that tried to extract over $40 million from Indiana based on our public-private partnership use of the toll road and Governor Daniels' innovative way to fund highway projects, including Interstate 69, which goes through our district. We also, on the Transportation Committee, reauthorized the FAA. Most people don't know that, but we got a long-term FAA reauthorization, which is a big deal. So we've been able to get some things done on the Transportation Committee, trying to find common ground and moving this country forward. Some of the other things we've had to do, though, especially for this area, which is heavily dependent on the coal industry, is we've had to push back hard on the regulatory climate in Washington, D.C., especially the EPA. We've pushed back very hard. Indiana depends on coal for 95% of our electrical power. Every coal mine in Indiana is in the 8th Congressional District, and the economy in this area depends on coal. This administration and my opponent's support for the president's policies are going to take us in a direction that we don't want to see with the coal industry. You want to see higher energy costs? Allow this administration to continue to hamper the coal industry. We're pushing back hard. The other thing we've done is passed over 30 bills in the House to move the country forward on energy independence. Our country needs to depend on ourselves, less on foreign countries like in the Middle East that want to control our economy by raising our prices on oil. And every time something happens, our country has to depend on that. We need energy independence. We've passed multiple bills to do that and to create jobs. We want to create jobs in this country. Let's build the Keystone Pipeline, for example, 20,000 direct jobs related to the energy industry. And then, of course, with the Supreme Court decision the other day on the president's health care bill, Obamacare, I've voted so far 3 times to fully repeal it and over 20 times to repeal other parts of it. It's the wrong direction to take our country. The Supreme Court said it's constitutional. They didn't say it's good for America. They didn't say it's good for health care. And I'm here to tell you that it's not.
Amen.
New taxes, over 20 new taxes in the health care bill, most of which hit the American middle class. Directly against the president's promise not to raise taxes on anyone with an income less than $250,000. My opponent supports the health care bill. He supports Obamacare. He said recently he wouldn't repeal it. He's on record not repealing it. It's the wrong direction to take the country. If we get the White House and the Senate, we will repeal this and replace it with private sector solutions to get the cost of health care down for all Americans. This campaign is about the economy and job creation. Those are the #1 issues in our district, in our state, and in America. We've had an unemployment rate of 8% or greater for over 40 straight months. I just heard today that's the longest period in 60 years that we had an unemployment rate like that. The president's economic policies, which are supported by my opponent, are failing the American people. My opponent endorsed President Obama in 2008. He continues to endorse his policies. It's the wrong direction to take the country, and we're going to push back hard. And that's why I would appreciate everyone's support for my reelection. There's going to be a sharp contrast in this election between what I believe in and what my opponent believes in, and honestly what the president and his allies believe in. This country is going to go in one of two directions. We're going to go in the direction the president and my opponent want to take it, towards bigger government, more controls, less individual freedom. We're going to take this country back to what America stands for, and that's personal liberty and freedom, small and effective government, and the ability of the private sector to create jobs and get people back to work. And that's what I stand for. And that's the direction we're going to take this country. We don't need a representative in this district that's a rubber stamp for President Barack Obama's policies. It's bad for Indiana. It's bad for this district. We want to bring people together. I want to bring our country together. The president wants to divide our country. He wants to separate Americans based on economics, based on a lot of other issues. That's just not the way the American people have done things in the past. We stand together in our country in times of difficulty. We have economic difficulty now. We need to bring people together, not divide them apart. I was just driving over to Ohio the other day to take my daughter to hockey camp. And on Interstate 64, we went past 10 electrical repair trucks heading to the East Coast to help our citizens that have been hurt by the recent storms. They were all from Kansas. Those folks had already driven at least 12 hours to get there where they were, and they were heading further. Why? Because Americans come together in times of difficulty. And that's what we need to do in this election. So my vision, if I'm reelected, fair, scientifically based regulation. Republicans aren't saying no regulation. We're saying don't base it on ideology, base it on fairness and facts. We need broad tax reform to make us more competitive in the global marketplace, to get the taxes on our citizens fair. What we don't need is the constant threat of higher taxes on our job creators. Every day the president threatens higher taxes on the very people we're expecting to help get people back to work. We don't need that. We need broad tax reform. And of course, we need to repeal the president's health care bill and replace it with private sector solutions. And finally, we need to get this federal budget under control. I voted for and I support a balanced budget amendment at the federal level. 49 states have it. Washington, D.C. politicians need to be held accountable for the spending in Washington. We cannot continue to spend money that we don't have. Now, in the last 2 years, it's been difficult to get control of that because we don't have any help in the Senate and the White House. But I'm here to tell you that I will hold our own party's feet to the fire if we get control of the White House and the Senate to get this spending under control. This is a watershed election for our country. I appreciate you all coming out today. We need to get back on the pathway to individual personal liberty and freedom. And I'm afraid that if we don't, right now, this day in November, get us back on that pathway, it's going to be hard to correct course. So I would really appreciate your support in the fall. I think it'll be a stark contrast between me and my opponent. And I'm confident that the American people's voice will be heard in November, and we'll get this country back on track. Thank you very much for coming out. Woo! Thanks, everyone. Thank you. Thanks, Mayor. Thanks for coming out. Appreciate it. Thank you.
I know we invited him. I gotta go.
Go ahead.
Thanks for coming out, guys.
Of course. How are you doing?
Fine. Melissa's out in Warren County at the country club.
Oh.
Yeah. Making pimento cheese sandwiches at the country club.
The thing is you'll be happy about it. We're going to bring up certainly I can relate to that. It's all right, I can call all the time out. Yeah. The leadership is also I know.
Nice to meet you, ladies. See ya. Take care.
Day.
Stay cool.
So bad. They're just go back to the long hours. Can I give it that? Oh yeah, no, it's way better than this one. I think I'm not leaving it all. We're the crowd. They're
parked right there on the You know, I didn't think I could either. I well, it's for a gym.
stuck in the shop for an hour. Pick her up. I just need to leave like an hour early. Really? Do you need to? I do want to make sure I start. Are you guys like recording the volunteers in some way? I want to get them to start like recording themselves, but I want to start. Yesterday's the first. Oh, we didn't have it. Okay. So if we have any today, then we'll just start explaining like the board and stuff.
But it's supposed to get 100 today. It's just today.
Feet are gonna be so tan. Like I'm telling you, my feet are my tannest part of my body. I'm gonna get. It's gonna take up all our conversation.
Volunteer barbecues every Saturday.
Ladies, would you like to sign up to volunteer?
I am volunteering for Murdoch, and I don't know if I.
Well, you know, a rising tide, you know, floats all ships. So,
Okay, yeah.
helping Murdoch helps
I
us.
mean, I just.
I hope you don't mind if I don't sign up to volunteer. I think I'm
You know, I think I've got your contact information. I think we're good.
Yeah, so, but what kind of things you go outside
on my
on
list.
here? It would have to be locally if I volunteer.
Well, yeah. We're going to have our headquarters over on John Street.
Yeah.
Services.
Yeah.
We also have an option to sign up for the email list so you can get updates from you.
down here.
If you don't want
Because
to.
I'm on his email regular list.
Finally, I'm in a
So we already got you.
So I knew.
post I'm gonna do.
Okay, thanks.
Fantastic.
It's probably better.
Would you like to sign up?
Then I'm gonna be on the road.
What about you? Very good. I think I talked to her. I'm glad you guys are already on the road.
Got some important things done.
Very good. I'm glad you ladies made it out. I think that's where I recognize your name. I did. So as soon as someone does, I say
Let me cut back.
Well, I know, but
I always say I don't have time to work. What the fuck?
I guess this is gonna close if there was a day today. Yeah, too late.
Well,
Well, if someone got on my phone call.
I know, learned that pretty good, huh? I see you found it. Don't get run over by a bike.
Everybody working.
Now, who are you girls?
Yeah, right.
You were right. You're with who? And why are you
Joyce, I'll see you later. Just to check out, just to watch. It just, I don't know, it's just gonna be commonplace. Just there needs to be good.
I mean, that's fine. That's
This just is not the right.
okay.
Take care.
Really? You got it.
How long have you guys been doing this?
Oh, yeah, good. All right.
I've been here about a year.
It's the right thing to do. Because you don't want your opponent's main recognition. I don't know. I don't think the first month, the Murdoch people assumed that I was there to like conviction. We have conviction. They just heard like the word marketing organization. So it was like it took about a month for like some stuff to finally like Google us and be like, you're on the other side. And I was like, how would I be? You don't know your fucking wasn't.
No surprises there. No. Yeah, like the longer better like a single thing or something. Like you said no surprises yet? No, it's just not seeing the right a lot. And they're all underage. You're bad on this should publish. Like, I'm not gonna do anything. It's native.
Hey, there he is. Good to see you, man.
It's so creepy. Just here. I can actually hear it, but I'm not gonna hold my hand out. It's about
We got cute guys on our team. Introduce yourself.
Oh, we've met.
Oh, we've talked to. I've talked
Yeah,
to
I know.
They're with.
Oh, I'm sure they just follow you guys
They're
around.
with Dave Crooks, and then she's
I
with
know.
American Bridge. I don't know if you've heard
American
of
Bridge?
Yeah. She said her normal job is to follow around Murdoch.
American Bridge.
Yeah.